Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's your boys. A little late this weekend. Had things to do, big things. Traveling abroad. Went north of the border. Didn't see Scotty. Was trying to get me to go. I told him we were chock full of games and didn't get a chance to make it, but we'll get there again, Scotty. Uh, Chirping before we got on the air about coaching and youth sports, which is always a great topic for the fellas and a lot of what am I getting for my money conversations versus my free time and my voluntary time. So let's move right into what I thought was a great one watch. Everybody knows the rules. So Ed, you're back. Big shoes to
Yeah.
fill. Let's go. Let's bring it heavy.
All right. Hey there, podcast fans. Are you ready to show off the love for the 1973 podcast? We've got over 20 different designs of t-shirts and hoodies that capture the essence of classic stuff. Whether you're a fan of the show or just love that retro feel, we've got something for everyone. From bold prints to subtle nods to your favorite personalities. Each piece is made with top-notch quality. That timeless style that you crave, perfect for lounging at home or making a statement out and about. And don't wait, our collection is flying off the shelves faster than you can say. Don't be cheap, buy a shirt. Visit us now at bonfire.com and grab your favorites before they are gone. And check out the 1973 podcast t-shirt store on YouTube. Just click the link below. And you know, that link is very easy to take you to. I mean, you just hit that link and all of a sudden, poof, there you go. It's shirts right in front of you.
Bam. So before we get into this, I want to say that Brad had the pick of the. But this is a great pick. Brad, before I start into my diatribe on this movie, I want you to tell us what you chose. Bring us up to speed.
I chose the movie The Heretic. It's Hugh Grant. Just came out 2024. It's got a runtime of an hour 51 minutes. It was one of those movies kind of at a quiet release. I think it was probably dropped in like January, February, studio dump time. If you guys don't know, like January, February is the studio dump month. They dump movies that they think aren't going to do that well. It actually got really good reviews, got a lot of hype on social media. So I was like, I'm going to give it a chance. The Heretic, Hugh Grant played this part perfectly. Mr. Reed, I think was his name. It actually had me so glued to the screen. I was literally sitting on the edge of my seat. Like, it's so tense and thrilling and suspenseful. When the movie starts, you know, it's a couple of Mormon women going door to door. One's very naive. One's kind of been around the world. Two polar opposites. They meet this guy. They're trying to convince him that, you know, being a Mormon is the way to go. And at first, he's all seemingly friendly and knowledgeable. He's really, really well ingrained into theology, and he brings up a lot of good points. But it goes from like just a kind of an innocent movie to super weird really quickly. Keeps you engaged, locked in through the whole hour 50 minutes. I really enjoyed this film. At some point in the film, I actually kind of started to side with Mr. Reed because I think that's his name in the movie, right? I gotta look up the cast.
Yep.
But basically, he's saying, you know, religion is this business, is this monopoly, and you know they're just trying to make money and influence people and kind of use this control aspect to get what they want in the world. And he makes a lot of good points. And at some point, you kind of like start to side with him. Then you're like, oh wait, this guy's kind of creepy, and he's like keeping women caged up in the attic, you know. This movie also kind of kept you on your seat because you didn't know if we were gonna get like there's like this puzzle box escape house ism going on. So I didn't know if it was going to turn into Saw really quickly, where they're going to have to like cut somebody open to get a key out to unlock the front door, or if it was going to turn into Hostel, where you know there's a bunch of creepy dudes in the basement waiting to murder people. You know, you didn't know what was coming. Lots of twists and turns. Like every modern horror film right now, I can't think of one that hasn't done this. It's great for the first 90 minutes or so, and then the ending just they rush it. It's flat and it sucks. I didn't like the ending at all. How the homely like innocent girl was actually the street smart one that figured the whole thing out and outwitted him. I'm like, man, that's stupid. But movie was great. I give it 7.5.
Nice. All right, Ed, you're up.
Well, guess what? I'm going to abstain because I didn't watch it.
Good man, Ed. Good
Throw a
man.
random number out. Give a random score.
Well, I know it got rated like a 7.4. So how's that?
Perfect.
Okay. I'll hit this one next. So I had to catch up today. Came home. I started watching some stuff just to get caught up. Got cutting the grass. I said I gotta do my research for the pod. So I hop on this, start watching, and I'm like, wow, this movie's pretty good. Got a little bit of Alfred Hitchcock to it. Got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I thought the part was pretty cool where he's wants them to be honest with him so he can like kind of like control the narrative. And he puts the knife in the neck of the one girl, and then he goes it around because he notices the scar, and he thinks that he pulls it out, and he asks the girl, what do you think this is? And then it's like, oh, see, she's a clone, that's what she is. And the other girl's like, oh, well, I think that's birth control. So already there's like a yin to the yang. Where's it going? It's like he's manipulating everything to his narrative, all trying to get that final like shock and awe of it's all about control. So I thought it was really good. It's a very surprising. Thought it was a great pick from Brad out of the blue. Way better than Long Legs. So I'm actually going to rate this movie higher than you guys. I'm going 8-1 on this movie just because the story was different. I like the concept of how we talk a lot about conspiracy theories. I was talking to Brad before we came on about how the choice of the Monopoly game was used. We talked about that, the theory of the Monopoly game coming out during the Great Depression, and it was almost like, hey, this is how you make money without telling you how to make money in the U.S. And it was really, really well thought out. I thought the ending was a little bit like Brad, but the thing I thought that was kind of like it just ended the pot with the butterfly, where she had told the other girl that she had said that if she passed away, she would want to come back as a butterfly to remind all the friends of, that was her and she had passed over or whatever. So I thought it was kind of interesting how now at the end was she passing on and she saw the butterfly and then it was gone and she was hitting the deck, or was that actually her surviving it and the friend coming with the butterfly? So it leaves a little bit of open to your imagination kind of thought, and that's always great for debate too. So 8-1's my score. Thomas, the voice of reason, what do you got?
First, I was talking to Darren tonight, and we were talking about this movie. He gave it a 7.5. I agree with him. What he said about Hugh Grant was just, it was great in this role. Seeing him play a different role than what you always watched since his career started. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not a horror fan. I will say going in, I was already had a strike against it, but if I do like horror movies, it's the psychological kind. So this one was better than I thought. It was isn't saying much, but no, it was better than I thought. But I'm like Brad, I thought the ending sucked. So going in, I was figuring like 3/4 of the way through, I was like, oh, I'm going to give it like a 7.2, and the ending just killed it for me. I dropped down to a 6.8.
Respectable.
Respectable.
All right. All right, Phantom, before we get going on your movie pick of the week and your review of The Heretic, I got to ask you what your giveaway is for this week.
Oh, let's pick out our dandy. Let's go. This one is... see, now, here's the problem with this one. I'm going to throw this thing on the porch, and by the time I get up in the morning, Andy's going to already go and steal it.
Oh, semi-tough. Own it.
Yeah, tough. Chris Christopherson, Burt Reynolds.
How many views for that bad boy?
Hey, the way we've been going, this could be yours for 25 views. And you could watch this one for free in about 3 days. You don't even have to pay for it.
Well, it wouldn't be free because they got to come up there and get it.
Yeah, it's worth the ride.
Like 32-hour ride. I mean,
Road trip.
Road trip.
Brad, we're taking your car then.
Let's do it.
I'll buy the snacks at Buc-ee's.
Sold.
All right,
It's
Phantom.
going last to review the movie, and it's like after you get to listen to what everybody else says, and it's like, oh, I agree with that. Oh, I agree with that. It's kind of funny how you end up with that. I kind of liked it. Going into it, expectations super low. I didn't think it was going to be good, but I kind of liked it a lot. It definitely like kind of pulls you in right away. Where I always kind of like the stuff that has like the little like religious overtones. So that kind of drew me in a bit too. But the part that I liked about it is, unlike Brad and Tom, I'm more with Andy. I like the movies that end with leave a little bit to the imagination. You have a bunch of people watch the same movie, they might come across like I was the same thing with the butterfly. Like, oh, it's like a little reincarnation because it kind of tries to bury like the religious part of it, but then all of a sudden the butterfly's on her hand, so it's like, oh, maybe there was something to it. I thought it was a little corny with his name being Mr. Reed, like it's like Mystery, but I don't know if that was intentional. It kind of seemed like it was, but yeah, I'm coming in right in the sevens as well. I added like 7.1. I enjoyed it. I was going to ask Andy. Now, Andy, you went 8.1. Does that mean you have to go and buy it?
I mean, for somebody like Ed, he might as well go and buy it so he can watch it, and then when we review the sequel, it'll be all up to speed.
He doesn't have to watch it anymore. We've given away everything in the movie.
It.
So.
Thanks, guys. Great movie.
So, Thomas, what do you have for a score before we reveal next week's homework?
Do we have a score from Shaggy?
No score from Shaggy.
All right, hold on. Right. 7.4.
Oh, not bad.
Look at that.
IMDb 7.
How about that?
7 flat.
Watch the movie, calls the number. How about that?
Look at that. Oh, well, it's worth a watch, I will say. It does for a 2-hour movie, I think it was an hour and 50, what was it? An hour and 18 minutes? Something like that.
Hour 51 with runtime.
Yep. So I wasn't watching the phone or bored with it. I was pretty much glued to it. I didn't want to miss any good dialogue in case he was trying to throw some kind of puzzle out there. So let's put that one to bed. And next week's homework, Mr. Phantom, is
Stigmata.
How did I know, dude?
We're going deep in the weeds with this one. Pulling that way back.
It's an HBO classic.
I like it. All right. So what's great about that movie is I probably haven't seen it in a good 20 years, probably, I would imagine. At least 15. I'm not sure what year it came out, but that's definitely a good pick. I like the deep dives every now and then. All right, so let's move away from the one watch everybody knows the rules and move into some wrestling talk. Let's start with this week's. We're probably right on point with getting back on track with the Dark Side of the Rings. Hot stuff, Eddie Gilbert. Ed, we're going to start with you because I know you didn't watch the movie, so hopefully you watched the hot stuff.
I most certainly did, and
Okay.
I thought it was excellent. There were a lot of things that I didn't know. I did not realize that he actually was one of the ones that built the foundation for ECW. I did not know that.
I did.
I did not know that he was married to Medusa. Did not know that either. I thought it was good. It kind of truly kind of went back to like, so it was a nice episode where you kind of bought into the story and it really kind of was like the dark side, but it still holds the same template that they all have, guy has all the talent in the world, gets involved in drugs or pills or whatever. And then his whole life falls apart and then he passes away. I thought it was pretty interesting how he pretty much, always was trying to be the booker. I always thought, and it was one of those things where he pretty much pushed himself out of all the promotions that he worked, and his final kind of resting place was ECW. So I thought it was pretty good. I thought it taught me a lot of stuff that I didn't know about him. But I remember watching him. He was a really good ring technician, and I liked what he brought to the table. So it was good.
Thomas, hot stuff.
Yeah, it was a good one. I mean, it didn't have a lot of dark side. I mean, it didn't go real dark, but it wasn't bad. I thought it was just crazy when you talk about that car accident he was in, and how he said he told, I forgot who it was, Ricky Morton or somebody, that his heart was jello after the accident, and then 3 months later he was back wrestling. So I mean, just shows you how, I mean, I won't say lucky, but it also shows you what caused the painkiller addiction, I guess. I mean, that's pretty sad. But um, I knew he had beef with Ric Flair, but I didn't know it went as deep as it did. And actually, there was stuff that they didn't put in it. Like he was supposed to be one of the original Four Horsemen, and Ric Flair. Uh, they didn't have this in the dark side. Ric Flair vetoed it, wouldn't let him in it. So I mean, it doesn't surprise me because I two egos like that to have them feud not getting along isn't very surprising. But I thought it was really good that he got his flowers really for in Mid South. Really, he jump started the careers of a lot of guys like Sting, Rick Steiner, Ultimate Warrior, Doctor Death, Steve Williams, who really pushed. I mean, he never really equaled what he did in Mid South anywhere else except maybe Japan. So that he really helped those careers. But I thought it was good. It was sad. The person I'm surprised they didn't have on here, and I think she was on a couple last year was Missy Hyatt. I'm surprised she didn't talk. They didn't get her for this one.
Phantom, hot stuff, Eddie Gilbert.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I thought it was pretty good. He definitely polarizing kind of a character. He kind of had like a large ego for somebody that wasn't really like a big time wrestler, as far as the wrestling, the big picture went. He's actually one of those guys that I feel like I watched like his whole career, but I probably saw hardly any of it. I think he was a big like wrestling, like we've talked about before, like a big wrestling magazine guy that I saw him so much in the wrestling magazines. I actually felt like I watched him because we weren't really catching any of the channels that he was on. And when he was like in WCW or whatever, NWA in like the early days, he wasn't really a top guy. He was more famous for where he was booking it with the hot stuff, the UWF and all that later on. Overall, I thought it was pretty good. I thought it fell into your basic get injured, get hooked on drugs, can't control it until you die. I think it's it's a road traveled by a lot of these guys. So, but overall, those are the ones I like. Like like Ed said, I did know that he was like married to Medusa and stuff, but it was nice to get a little bit more of the details, but behind the guy where I really feel like I didn't really know that much. Instead of having somebody like Randy Savage or somebody like that you already know everything. Yeah, I wish all the episodes were about these like guys that but you don't really know the whole story behind them.
Brad, thoughts on this episode? Does it trump your favorite episode about Chris Colt?
I kind of the same sentiment as the Phantom. Like I like when it's guys that were kind of popular, but I don't know a whole lot about them. But like not they weren't like these huge mega fixtures. Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Macho Man, et cetera, Chris Benoit, Eddie. Like we know those guys. We already knew their stories. I do like this episode. I feel like this Gilbert hit the trifecta, right? He had substance abuse, he had a car accident, and several failed marriages. Like that's the wrestler trifecta, and then you want to cap it, give him the hat trick with an untimely death that nobody saw coming. That's what Dark Side's about. So it's like their episodes are getting back to the roots. It's more than just like a documentary piece about guys that we're not that interested in. It's this is back the direction I thought this show would go. So I enjoyed it.
So for me, I thought it was good because Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert was always one of those guys that always had like he was like they said in the program. He was like the pre-internet smart wrestling fans kind of wrestler. The guy that was always like, should have been pushed better than what he actually was. You didn't really know a lot about booking back then, especially as kids, the pre-ECW and internet stuff. I actually saw him wrestle when he was in the first inclination of the WWF run at the Boston Garden when he was just a jobber on the undercard. And then when I lost track of him, still watching wrestling, but not like Ryan was saying, having the channels, when he popped up again in WCW and he had the hot stuff look, which I remember from the magazines, but not seeing him. I'm like, wow, there's something different about this guy. He always reminded me of like kind of like almost like a Jerry Lawler, like an anti-Lawler, kind of like not a ripoff, just like you could tell that there was a lot of influences in him from Jerry Lawler, and come to find out later on that was like his favorite wrestler when he was, a kid. Of course, the Lawler feud with getting hit by a car, and that was after WCW, after his little stint there. But I remember that merger with UWF, and they brought him in. But what I was hoping was when they had merged, that you would get to see more Missy Hyatt, but she was already kind of on the outs with him. I thought Medusa was really good in this episode where she kind of talked about him as a person and how it's like this night and day thing with drug abuse with these guys, how they can be so nice, but you don't want to really be around them when they're using or abusing or whatever. I would like to know the what ifs if he had stayed with ECW with Paul Heyman and Todd Gordon. What would have been the ECW that came to be after that? Because I never knew that the one person he really didn't get along with was Kevin Sullivan. They kind of glossed over that. And it seemed like every time he was replaced by somebody, was always somebody that ended up being, kind of bigger or had more same ideas set, but just able to keep it together a lot better. The other thing that I found really cool about this, and they showed it in the episode, was first guy to do a shoot interview. I thought that the innovation of what I was getting to with my original point of being the smart marks fan, as they say back, whatever, he actually sat down with a camera and not exposed the wrestling business, but was the first one to sit down and sell merch as hey, I'm putting out a tape. If you want to buy it, if you're a smart fan, here's a way to, sit down and I'll answer questions about feuds and the wrestling business. Now, shoot interviews are now a big thing, and they were even bigger 10 or 15 years ago. So, very interesting take. I thought that this is an episode like Billy Graham that they probably could have done sooner. Ed missed a good one last week with when we were talking about the superstar. I thought that one was a good one too. So I don't know. Next week, is it the Billy Jack Haynes episode finally? Oh, yes. That one should be good. That one should be good.
It is good.
Speaking of dark sides of the ring, we gotta talk about this. Sabu, the passing of Sabu. So many things are coming out now, and it all came out this week. I sent the article out just so you guys could kind of gloss over it before. Just how erratic Sabu was, and you hear the stories about the backstage of ECW at the time. Is any of this stuff a surprise to any of you guys?
No, I'm surprised he was only 60. I'll be honest with you. I thought he was older than that when I saw.
Older.
So if you do the timeline, right? So in 1994, he was already 30, and he didn't even have his run yet of the big Sabu thing. What was this guy doing between the year of 1983 and 1993 when he was in his 20s? And what was that guy doing? Was he working at a Jiffy Lube? I hope they never talk about him.
He must have been scratching up that body on mufflers.
He started wrestling in 1985.
So yeah, but I mean, they never saw anything about him, like unless he was just carrying the Sheik's bags and stuff like that. But uh, I'll just give you my quick thoughts on Sabu. Super innovator for that style, going into that extreme uh, era. I mean, uh, would I need to say icon for that type of thing? Is that too much legend? Uh, I don't know. Brad, you wanna take the Sabu thing?
I think there's more people that will say he is a legend and an icon for ECW,
Yes.
not for WWE or WCW, but ECW, the hardcore wrestling before it got popular and mainstream. I think there's a lot of people out there that would say he deserves a spot in the WWE Hall of Fame, especially when you look at the people that were already granted access. I don't, hey, the natural disasters are in there. So, like, Sabu, 100% by that definition should be in. And Sami Zayn's been advocating for it for the last couple of years. And I feel like this is one of those WWE things. And Andy, you've called him out on it where they drop the ball, they wait till the dude dies, and then he'll get inducted the following year. And they waste a moment when they could have inducted him this past Mania when he did his freaking retirement match the same weekend as WrestleMania, just about. Was it the same weekend or was it like the weekend after? It was
No,
pretty
it
close
was
to Mania.
yeah,
Was the
and it
same
was
weekend.
a week, not even a week from his passing, and they
Yeah.
were going to
And then
get
he
into
died a
that
few
too.
weeks later.
And Sabu.
Oh man, I remember watching it with. There's three gentlemen on this panel that we went to the. Which armory where we did we go?
Bank Street Armory in Fall River, Massachusetts.
No. This one was in the outside. It was like
Oh, Waltham.
Yeah,
We
Waltham.
went to Waltham, the IBU Hall in
Yes,
Waltham, Massachusetts.
yes. And I mean, I remember going to see him, and first and foremost, from seeing a WWE house show and then seeing an ECW house show, I mean, it just showed a different level. And that dude got injured every single time he was out. I mean, he would just be flying around. And when you're sitting there live in a small little tiny venue like that, it brings a whole different vibe to it. And watching his last match, man, that was just sad to watch. It was just really sad to watch. And, they brought Sandman out, which was a nice little touch, but it was just sad to watch, knowing that he had to do his, he did a hardcore match basically less than a week before he passed away. That's just sad.
He knocked himself out on that floor spot. He was out cold. And the only thing that woke him back up was they played the Sandman's music and he came to.
Dang.
Did you see that bump? He like slid just like a crash test dummy right out of the ring. It was like it was sad to watch because he didn't even have his Arabian pants on. He had like a white suit.
Yeah, it's a white, like a dress pantsuit.
Yeah, it's like what in that I have nothing that GCW, not for me. That is not a wrestling federation for me at all. That they can keep that. Everything except ECW is just an imitation of it, and it's not even.
It's not a good
altogether.
It's not even a good imitation. Like, I mean, I don't think that the barbed wire match serves a purpose for something. But no. It's a barbed wire match is supposed to be a blow off.
Yeah, and they don't even do it right. They don't even. They less is more with that stuff.
Yeah, because like, where do you go from that?
Yeah, right out dead, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
That's 6 feet under.
I mean, do you really need to put a table of barbed wire outside of the thing? I mean, come on.
Yeah, that'd be a hard match to watch if he was like in his prime, let alone 60 years old, 2 weeks out from death. You know what I mean? Like, but I felt like he knew he was gone, and he was like, "This is my last hurrah. I'm gonna do this badass match, and I'm done because I'm not literally done."
But my point is just like those matches are supposed to mean something. You know what I'm saying? Like it's supposed to mean something. Like back in the day between like Piper and Greg the Hammer Valentine when they do the dog call match. It's supposed to mean something. You know, it's supposed to blow off something, not just for carnage. That's watching a car accident for no reason. That's just my take.
Phantom, I know you want to weigh in on one of your favorites, Sabu.
Weigh in.
Hey, I'm right along with Brad. I'm like, this fucking motherfucker must have found out he was gonna die, and he's like, fuck it, I'm going out in a blaze of glory. Like that guy must have left the doctor's office. It was like, I'm gonna die 1 week.
Yep.
And they put in a call. Hey, can you get me a match? Already had the funeral suit on.
Yep.
Yeah, that guy was wild. It's to go like he was the guy when we first got turned on to ECW that you were like we started to watch it because of him. He was the one that like pulled you into it, and then once you started watching, you're like, oh, all right, Shane Douglas. So you got these other guys, and you kind of branched off into who was like your regular favorite, but he was the curiosity to actually get you to actually turn it on.
He was the hook.
I can remember with him wrestling, he jacking himself up, and he would just bust out the tape and just start like taping up cuts with like a roll of hockey tape. Yeah, he was pretty sick, but after a while, I thought he he kind of like brought along Taz. Like I don't think Taz would have been what he is today if it wasn't for that. So he made quite a few guys when they had those first pay-per-views. It was like he was the marquee guy. I think they kind of missed the boat on it, like when his early stuff that we didn't even really get to see because we weren't watching it yet. It wasn't on television around here. Is when they used to bring him out like Hannibal Lecter, like on a hand cart with a mask and stuff. It was pretty wild. But no, it's a sad to see him die that young. I was with Tom. I didn't realize he was only 60. I thought he was at least mid 60s at the very least. But that's just as his whole look with the body all like. Remember we used to have like that WCW versus the World. He was one of the guys that was on it, but like would not with a fake name because they didn't have the license to use the name, and with the body all scarred up, and it was like we used to get a rise out of the guys that used to have the banged up foreheads and shit. We see that guy with the whole freaking body all torn to shit. I'm like, holy shit, this fucking guy.
Yeah, I don't know what's worse, the what happened to him or that his last match was against Joey Janela.
Oof.
That's bad. With the Matt Hardy pink cotton candy hair, that was so bad. And then now, if you looked at the article going back to the GCW thing and not having any respect for him, you see the stuff about the ketamine. Terrible. I mean, to be a wrestling promotion and allow that to be like out in the open, and then the diatribe about Janela saying quotable, everybody knew what was going on and blah, 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 blah. And that's what wrestlers use these days. And I'm like, so you're glorifying why are you going to this goes back to what we talk about all the time. Why are you killing yourself physically in the ring and then physically away from the ring for no reason? You're in a small place with like 200 people in it, and you're doing dumb things hoping to get like a viral clip or something like that. And you're not doing the wrestling business as a whole, a service for what you're doing. So, and then admitting that this other stuff goes on. Tom, you want to take that?
Yeah, he's killing his career he just got to keep his mouth shut because nobody is going to trust him backstage anymore. Any of the boys, as they say, nobody's going to trust him anymore because he runs his mouth. And it's pretty sad that you don't know. I'd like to see what happened, what they come out with the autopsy, because he was very private. And like, I don't know if it was about a year or so ago, he had like collapsed or something at a wrestling convention and was rushed to the hospital. And even back then, they didn't say what was wrong. And so you wonder if it was something that he's had all this time. And so it's curious. I'm curious to see what they come out with, or if they even come out with anything anymore. But it's sad. I mean, his girlfriend died like a year or so ago from overdose, I believe it was. And so I mean, it's a sad ending.
They said they didn't have no money.
Shocker.
Damn. Dark Side is writing his episode right now.
Yeah, there's another guy they missed the boat on, because I'm sure that if they had, got him. Have they ever done like a part two? Like, I'm not. I don't think they have yet. Like, we did one a few years back, and then like a follow up episode. They could.
Well,
They could have
that was
probably.
through the episodes before the guys die. So all the ones that they hit up, they're actually living. They have to follow it up with a death episode.
Yeah, yeah. But I think the only two-parter they ever had was the Benoit one, right? That first season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just if you haven't
Still got him, still going strong.
if you haven't seen that final match of Sabu's match, go back and watch it, and then I'd be pressed for comments under the episode this week of what people take of that episode.
It was better than the entirety of Backlash. I'll tell you that much.
They should have called RVD in for that.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sure there's some comments coming from certain people with ECW ties and things like that. So, Brad, will bring us up to date on some Backlash. Seeing that you brought it up, how bad it was. I'm glad I missed it.
Nothing to talk about. I'm tired of fatal four-way matches. I'm tired of triple threat matches for titles. It's lazy bullshit booking. There's heat on Triple H. After every single PLE, there's more heat that he's about to get fired. And after Backlash, hey, maybe we need a change. I don't know. The Randy Orton John Cena match, kind of boring, kind of predictable.
Eddie Gilbert not available to take Triple H's spot. Just saying.
Just saying. Was it fun to watch when Randy Orton started, RKOing everybody? Yeah. They hit the attitude adjustment 5 or 6 times. Everybody got RKO'd 5 or 6 times. Took forever to get a pinfall. Then they rushed it per the usual. I thought the Dominic Mysterio Penta match was actually the high spot of the night. I thought that was actually very well done. Outside of that, Jeff Cobb gets introduced to zero pop. Talk about a botched intro, man. Nobody in the stands gave a flying fuck about Jeff Cobb.
Nobody ever heard of him.
Recliner. Huh?
That's because nobody ever heard of him.
Nobody heard of him, but I'm in my recliner like, oh, let's go. Zero pop, wasted intro, very let down. And then was Pat McAfee and Gunther fun to watch? Yes, because McAfee got the shit slapped out of him. He posted a picture on Instagram today, like hamburger chest. As a fan of this WWE, and I know the talent they have in the back, am I pissed off that a PLE was wasted on Pat McAfee 100%? You got this fucking jabroni who came in from football, who's an announcer. He's fun to watch. I'm a fan. Hey-oh, all that bullshit. Talking about weed on an interview, getting fucking clicks and likes because he mentions marijuana one fucking time and everybody thinks he's like the best. Bro, I'm so sick of Pat McAfee at this point. Stealing spots, carrying Cross, my homeboy, riding it out. Got snubbed at WrestleMania. Got snubbed at Backlash. The #1 selling t-shirt on WWEshop.com. Can't get a fucking PLE to save his life. You got tons of talent in the back, bro. I'm hot. I'm telling you. Tons of talent in the back.
Preach on, Brad.
Tons of talent. And what the fuck? That's 4. What happens? Pat McAfee gets a dumbass match with Gunther and almost fucking wins. That's 5. Wins. Bro, I'm hot. This is the type of shit that drove me to watch AEW. And when I came back to watching wrestling 3 or 4 years ago, this is how many do I have, Ed?
Go ahead.
Unlimited.
6. Keep it going. This is the fucking bullshit that drove me back to
that right
AEW.
Gonna get me to keep this,
bro. Went back to AEW. That shit was whack. It got stale. Went back to WWE. Got fun to watch Cody Rhodes move. Hey, let's list all the storylines that have gone to the shitter since January. Bloodline versus Bloodline kind of ended at Survivor Series or whatever, and they never went anything with it. It just fell off. Drew McIntyre sniping Bloodline members fell the fuck off. That's 7. John Cena selling his soul to The Rock fell off. What are they doing at this point, man? That's 3 storylines, bro. If I see one more Fatal 4-Way for a championship of any caliber, I'm gonna lose my shit. Right. Where am I at, Ed? 8?
You're at 8, yeah.
Oh,
Write a
Brad.
fucking story
That's 9.
and give
just
us a
got banned.
story we can get behind because I'm tired of it, dude. Karen Cross said they're after clickbait in viral moments and not long-term storytelling. And he's 100% right, guys.
Bam.
100% right.
Tell us how you feel, Brad. Don't hold back.
I didn't.
Good man. I
You
like
said
it.
we could drop the F-bombs. I'll let it rip.
You know what? We do better with the reels than we do with the episodes, so make it happen. I just made a whole reel just out of that diatribe. I love it.
Yeah.
Preach on.
I'm pissed, dude.
You know who's not showing up to be the third Paul Heyman guy? Sabu. I'm just putting that out there. That's
Too soon.
right. It's not happening. If anybody had him in your pool, chances are done.
Done.
Phantom.
Number 9.
Get him.
Can they just let them reveal these guys? Everybody's gonna jump out of the crowd with a sweatshirt on with the hood on. What happened to the old days with just having the vignette for 3 weeks before they show up? Can we just build up a no-namer?
Why at 6? That's another one. Go away.
You want to bring somebody in that nobody knows? Like, can you like at least introduce them first and just
Like
kind of bring it?
Glacier.
Like the guy's got like sick moves and stuff, and the stuff I've seen is pretty decent. But like, how many people when he showed up thought he was Zilla? They probably don't even know what he looks like. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh man, it's brutal. The best part about it was going back and forth with Brad on text and back and forth, making fun of it.
Professor.
I knew it was Jeff Cobb because they leaked he was coming out. So
Hey, that sucks too. That ruins the surprise.
it was leaked. So I knew when I saw him.
He
Anyway,
ain't gonna make it there because he got a little like midget tendencies. He's got a little. How tall is that guy? 5'7"?
Yeah.
You could post up on him, RB.
What's that?
Said you could post up on him.
Thomas, care to weigh in on the current state of the WWE?
It's bad. No.
Number 10, Tom. Number 10.
Yeah. From what I read, I didn't watch it. I haven't watched a WWE pay-per-view in a couple of years now, but they just don't get it. And I don't know if they're trying to do an angle with Triple H and Cena, but I don't know if you guys saw the post Backlash pay-per-view. Triple H was talking, and then Cena came up and whispered something in Triple H's ear, and Triple H he said something and got up and left. Do you think so? I don't know if they're going to do like a power angle with those two and The Rock or something. I don't know what's going on, but I don't think they know what's going on, to be honest with you.
Where everything's like out in the open now, the whole angle should be at the end is they made me turn bad and I didn't want to.
Yeah, there's no direction, man. There's zero direction.
Turn heel.
Speaking of turning heel, Thomas, do you want to turn heel and do some shitty picks?
Sure. Here we go. Tom's Shitty Picks is brought to you by Brock Street Brewing Company, located at 244 Brock Street South in Whitby, Ontario. Everything is brewed in-house, including their hard iced teas, their beers, vodka sodas, and their hard seltzers. So if you're in the Whitby area, go check them out and tell them the 1973 podcast sent you. All right, last week's pick didn't do too bad. I mean, it was kind of points-wise, he did all right. I had Cole Raggins. He went 1-1. He gave up 4 runs between the 2 starts. He had 19 Ks, which I knew he would rack up a lot of Ks in those 2 games. He ended up with 24 points for the week. So ESPN, if you go by the ESPN points, that was pretty good. As for this week's pick, since we're already into the week, I'm just going to go. I'm going to go basketball. You know, somebody that we know, our number 1 fan, says we don't talk enough basketball. So I'm going to go Celtics. Knicks aren't going to win another game in the series. Celtics going to win the next, 2-2, 2-1. Celtics are going to win in 6.
All right, so I'm going to kick this one to Ed. We're going to talk some NHL playoffs. Ed? Oh, go ahead,
Hold on.
Thomas.
Whoa.
Got one thing. Now, I was going to do this. I had this plan before I knew that Brad was a little bit spicy tonight. But I know Brad gets bored when we talk hockey, so I bought a book for him. Z is for Zamboni.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The hockey alphabet.
Very,
You can read up
very
while
good.
we're talking if you want.
Yeah.
Could
Send it.
you send that along to Gulfport, Mississippi, please?
Yeah, send it.
Yep. Ed,
Yes, sir.
let's talk some hockey. The only guy you missed it last week. We had to pull at the heartstrings and tell young Bradford that he's the only one that has the team in the race, and how we should be watching for 2 reasons. Do you care to add?
Well, first and foremost, man, the Stars are just an exciting team to watch. I mean, they're fun, they're fast, they're physical. I mean, how can you not like that brand of hockey? It's great stuff.
How about the fans?
The fans are into it, man. I talked to a guy from Dallas today. My 30-minute call with the help desk today. And he had to send me an email, and he sent me an email because I wasn't sure because it's a national help desk. He sends me an email, and he's like, "I just want to make sure that you're connecting me." And in the email it says, "Cowboys suck." And I thought, and I started laughing, and so he's like, "Yeah," he's like, "We did a couple of things." He's like, "Hey, send me an email back." I'm like, "The Patriots are better." And so he's like, "Yeah, I'm based out of Dallas," and he's like, "I'm a huge Dallas fan. I'm a Cowboys fan." I was like, "Well," he's like, "They're killing me." And I said, "Yeah, well, at least you got the Stars." Man, that dude talked to me for about 5 minutes about the Dallas Stars. And it was nice to talk to somebody from Dallas that just talking about hockey. It was exciting. It was exciting to listen to somebody else talk about hockey.
Bro, people in Dallas, it is a hockey town. They are so behind the Stars. Like, they got to have something to cheer for. The Cowboys suck. The Rangers are up and down, but mostly suck. They are behind the Dallas Stars, bro. Hockey Town, USA. I don't even know what that means.
We'll let you keep that one, Brad. We'll let you keep that one. But keep your interest,
right
you can
there.
have it.
That's Brad's t-shirt.
That's a t-shirt right there. That is a t-shirt right there.
Hockey Town, Mississippi.
Hockey Town, Dallas, Tejas.
Oh,
So I want to just ask the panel, how fun are the Florida Panthers to watch? I mean, yeah, the personnel. Oh, Thomas, you can't tell me you're not entertained by that team.
That is one of the few series that is actually entertaining me. The other ones I can't really get into, but that series, and it's just going to pick up more and more now with like the way that game ended the other night. I can't wait for. I think it's tomorrow. Is it tomorrow night? The next game?
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what if anything happens.
that was a dirty hit from behind too.
Oh yeah.
That was dirty. And Sam Bennett with a great goal during that game yesterday. That was, and then hey, that guy that used to play for the team that had the big B with the spokes coming out of it. Huh? How about that? In overtime, nice little goal, right? Joe saying it would have been nice to have him still playing for the Bruins. So that's right, the Bruins are in the playoffs.
He wants to give him that good draft pick before he goes back.
That's right, baby.
I like the little they almost caught it, the audio of Kachuk going at it with Nylander. It's like they had to talk over because you could actually hear him on the microphone saying, "Oh, what about you next game?" And then Knives comes in and said, "How about me first?" That was pretty good. That's the stuff that they should. If hockey's always going to be that sport that's held back, just let that stuff go. Just let it go. You're never going to be the number one sport. You never will be. So just let those personalities out. If there's animosity, let it show.
They should make all those guys in where you're going to pay for the ESPN Plus just to watch hockey. You throw an extra $5 in and you get to hear all the audio and uncensored. They make $1 zillion.
Yep. They always want to
get kicked out.
Oh yeah. Even that 0.4 second goal the other night was unbelievable.
Oh man. Draisaitl probably still hasn't slept.
You got to play till the whistle, right?
No,
That's playing till the whistle.
Oof.
Right off the stick and right in. It's unbelievable.
that it was.
I'm watching now. I'm like, go back to the Leafs thing. Dominating first 2 games.
Yeah.
Smack them up. As soon as Florida tied up that 3rd game, it was going to overtime. I'm like, Toronto loses this game, they're toast. Sure as shit, they're done. They ain't winning now.
Right. Yeah,
It looked like the first
now.
2 games. It looked like the first 2 games that Toronto just had to jump. And
Even the 3rd one.
They grind though.
Like that second period, right?
Yeah.
It's even like you think they got Tana for a heavy back end and stuff like they were wearing him down. You can't play that style with them. They're just too heavy. It's like the whole locker room buys in.
I thought that the Leafs were giving it to him pretty good.
And then last game, the shot count was the other way.
Yeah.
Wall had an unbelievable game, but can he have a game like that 2 games in a row?
Yeah, it's tough. Even some like the other series, it's like there's all these like little like storylines. Like Hellebuck is only playing good at home. On the road, he's freaking stinks. I'm like, what's up? I just keep waiting for him to all of a sudden just be like, he's too good to like go that long without doing anything. It's crazy.
President Trophy Jim.
Yeah, man. Talk about being a head case. I mean, come on. If you at least a little bit of the talent would drag you along a little bit.
So you want to change your pick from the Leafs are all done?
Nah, I'll live and die with it.
Still going Dallas?
No, they ain't winning.
You could rant and Conn Smythe right now.
Hey, there's a good scrap going on right now.
Is it the Edmonton game?
Yeah, it's a good scrap right now.
Yeah.
How about Carolina? I mean, they're boring as hell to watch, but they're consistent.
Cannot watch that series. It's so 2 teams I hate. Oh,
They're like sneaky good though. They just do everything right. I mean, no thrills, but
There was one game where there was so many whistles in the first 2 periods. It was just like, come on.
yeah,
Freddie Anderson.
Yeah.
Freddie Anderson's the story on that team. I mean, he had an unbelievable game the other night. What I saw of it.
How about Ratton? What's his face? Rattanen or whatever? However you say
Rantanen, yeah.
Dallas. That's a bad dude right there.
That's a story in itself right there. That's a big FU to Colorado.
Can you imagine if they make it to the finals and just by luck it ends up being against Carolina and he does them in 2? If both teams that traded in take them out.
Right. Talk about a guy that's maybe he's mentally on a mission. If you need motivation for your hopes and dreams, that's fuel right there. Plus, you don't know the whole story. You don't know those little nuances of why he moved and things like that, and why he wouldn't sign in Carolina and all these little things that will probably never come out. Maybe they will eventually, but
Joe Sack was already on TV trying to do damage control, saying, today's NHL, you can't be paying 3 guys that much money. You won't have no depth and blah 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 blah. But you see the thing with Nazem Kadri threw out a tweet of him and Rantanen with the holding the cup from when Colorado won it, and it says, "You can't win without your dogs." As if like to say you traded the wrong guys.
he is a big moose though. That body size, you can't teach that, as they say, right, Thomas?
yep. One thing before we get away from hockey, I gotta say, did you see your boy in the studio the other night, Pronger? The dude's head, I don't know what happened, dude. He's got like gigantism or something. That head is like this freaking big. It's like a beach ball. I was like, what the hell?
He's funny.
Oh, he is.
When they were doing the screen thing with him standing in front and nobody could see around him.
And the other thing I want to say is you never responded to the post I sent you about your boy Rick Tocchet being a candidate for the Boston Bruins.
I have as Team Canada 87 Rick Tocchet Canada Cup jersey on as we speak, with good faith that he's coming home to America's team,
Boston.
Philadelphia Flyers. You know it. You know what's going to happen. They just got to Let the dust
Andrew,
settle.
Andrew, you know you're used to disappointment, so just get ready.
Tom, all I gotta tell you is that he turned down $5 million from Vancouver, and I don't think Jacobs is ponying it up to $5.
Yeah, but you had a lot of headaches going on in that locker room in Vancouver.
That's for sure.
I have one question before we get out of hockey, and I'm gonna kick this to the man in the middle. What do you think about Joe Quenneville coming back?
Good stuff.
Andy.
Who's in the middle? On mine, it's
Andy.
Brad.
Oh, it's Andy.
Brad, what do you think about Joel Quenneville?
I concur.
Good answer.
Good answer. Andrew?
I always thought he was a really good coach. I mean, it's just situations in the PC police that have, kept him away all this time. And the Ducks a good landing spot for him? Maybe. I mean,
nobody's going to know about him, and half the people aren't even going to know he's there.
A lot of the, the thing with the hockey stuff is depending on where you're playing. I mean, you can have a regular everyday life, and the fans don't even recognize you. Whereas you go to, these bigger markets like, New York, Montreal, Toronto, Edmonton, Calgary, even sometimes Boston, they recognize you because, you're more in the community, but places like Carolina, you can disappear in places like that and be a pro athlete that play hockey. So, will he be under the radar? Maybe a little bit. Am I glad that he got another chance? I would probably agree with the fandom. He deserves to be in the NHL. There's guys that have, went to jail for certain things that I won't mention that have still played in the NHL after the fact. So, and other sports. So
So what actually happened to get him the old heave ho?
He was the Blackhawks had a SA, as they like to call it, and between one of the coaches and one of the players. And one of the players, I guess, was like one of the Black Aces, which is like the players that they call up at the end of the season that like they're on the playoff roster, but they don't actually like practice with the team. They're just there in case somebody gets hurt or something to come in. So there was something going on behind the scenes, and the guy must have reported the coach that there was an incident, and I guess it got reported upward, but I guess in behind the scenes, the Blackhawks had like covered it up because they were in the playoffs, and like we're not dealing with this during the playoffs, so they end up going on to win the cup, and then they end up firing the coach in the summer, trying to like sweep it under the rug a bit, and then like the guy ended up like later on going on to get jobs at somewhere else where he ended up like assaulting like kids following. So it was like he got anybody that was in that, any of the coaches, the GM, everybody fell off.
All collateral damage.
Yeah, so it was like he wasn't directly the reason why or anything like that, but I guess he knew about it and didn't push the issue of how come nothing was being done.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, Thomas, are you ready to take us to the Twilight Zone with the tinfoil hat segment with Bradford? After we watch a conspiracy theory-based movie, I'm sure he's firing on all cylinders.
All righty. The 1973 podcast is fueled by Dubby Energy, but it wasn't always this way. Dubby Energy was born from humble beginnings. An idea sparked in a small apartment when their founder, Anthony, set out to take on the energy drink giants, a.k.a. Big Energy. After trying a big-name competitor's product and being disappointed by the taste and poor quality ingredients, Anthony knew he could do better, so he dove deep into formulation, mastering ingredients, flavors, and performance to create an energy drink that works without the jitters, crashes, sugars, artificial dyes, or calories. Dubby launched with just one flavor and reinvested every penny to grow, and now they've created 15 plus custom-made flavors enjoyed by thousands of loyal customers every day. So are you ready to break free from Big Energy? Go to www.dubby.gg and use code 1973podcast at the checkout for 10% off your order. Dubby Energy. No jitters, no crash, just pure focus. Now back to Brad in the 73 podcast.
Ed could use some Dubby Energy right now for the focus.
Now, he needs some Dubby.
Well, 4:30 happens early. Just saying.
Yeah, it does. So because we watched the Heretic, I thought about going down the rabbit hole of all the pagan deities that share December 25th as a birth date, same as Jesus Christ. If you really get into the nitty gritty of Horus and Osiris, you see there's a lot of similarities that Christianity is just kind of a rebrand of that. I didn't want to bore the audience with the history lesson, though. That's something you should definitely go Google. More recently, current events happening. We've talked about this on the show about in the past about underground cities being built, and we've also talked about 9/11. So let's go that route instead. It's a little more interesting. Ever since 9/11, 2001, trillions of dollars have come up missing in Pentagon audits. And now we're finding out through Doge and Elon Musk and all this bullshit with Trump that literally $21 trillion of taxpayer money went to build in underground bunkers and these underground escape rooms for the elites in case like the big, you know, asteroid hits the earth or the big nuclear, cataclysm event happens. Anyway, us common folk have funded it. They built it. We'll never see it when it happens. We'll be on the surface like in Fallout, fighting each other for bottle caps and, losing our literal noses and melting away to the nuclear abyss. But anyway, that's what I want to talk about. Fucking bullshit. No, there's number 10. 11, whatever. They're using our hard-earned money to build underground bunkers, and we're not just talking about like fallout shelters. We're talking about like the creme de la creme. Cream rises to the top. We all know that, and they're just putting underground resorts, and we're paying for it, man. And we keep seeing these audits happen where they can't account for trillions of dollars. And since 9/11, it's happened literally like every year since 2001. So by now, I think they've accrued the $21 million that, in taxpayer funded that would have paid for that. And nobody is mad about it. We're just waiting for Trump to tweet something that we can jump on and attack. Like if we've ever had a Boston Tea Party moment, this is it. I don't care what your political ideology is. This is it. They're building bunkers with our money that we don't have access to for when the big one happens. Like this is a Boston Tea Party moment, and for the most part, both sides are just kind of quiet about it.
Andy, did you get in with that 3%?
Did I get in? No.
I tried.
3.1 next year we're in.
Yeah, we're in. Yeah, we'll get it. We'll throw some. We can write off some podcast money to get in there. This way, we'll have space to record from.
Can we just go up to the front door, knock on, and be like, "Do you know who I am?"
Yeah, we're the 1973 podcast. You need to let us in, buddy.
We have
Ed, care to weigh in on that theory?
Huh?
You want to weigh in, Ed?
About what?
Brad's theory about the money.
Well, it's a very interesting thought process that just so happens that Rumsfeld was standing out in front of the podium, and basically a few days later, all of a sudden, 9/11 hits, and then the Pentagon, gets hit with something, whether it be a plane, bomb, missile, depending on what conspiracy theory that you want to adopt for the day. Yeah, it's not a surprise, but I'll ask you this: maybe a lot of this stuff, if you listen to enough Joe Rogan podcasts, maybe this is going into reverse engineering of spacecraft and everything like that, and talking to the lizard people. Just saying.
Phantom, you're gonna follow that one.
I can't follow up the lizard people. Where do you go from there?
To an underground bunker.
The only place that you can go is up, Ryan, from that.
Oh, you mean they don't have an underground bunker over here in the Kush?
They probably do.
You just don't know about it.
I'm not surprised by any of it for sure. It's probably been there already for years.
Oh, just like the Greenbrier Hotel.
Thomas, care to weigh in on this tinfoil hat this week?
All I can picture in my head after Brad said what he said about the noses falling off is Brad in Woody Harrelson 2012, standing on top of some mountain, just with his arms out, just squealing as the nuclear blast comes in.
Go
Well,
top, man.
before we
Going
started
out on
recording,
top.
Brad was saying that he thought that we were due for another reset.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
That's about right. 2025, 26. Every 25 years, right?
You
It's
see that
usually
on
I don't know.
Nostradamus
It's
dumbass interview?
Farmer's Almanac said
Farmer's Almanac. That's it.
it. It's all in there. So how about we wrap up this episode for this week because Ed's saying we're way over time.
I haven't said anything.
Well, now's your chance. So what do you got this weekend?
Well, I'd
What a setup.
like to say I'm glad to be back. Sorry I had to miss it last week. I was on travel, but glad to be back with you boys again. And yeah, that's all I got.
Phantom, what do you got this week?
I'm going to shout out my boy, Diamond David Lee Roth. The guy, after I seen a couple of those concerts, I think he should have probably been having a match with Sabu. Poor bastard's looking sorry.
Brad, what do you got this week?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug, man.
You know what grinds your gears? You sports.
No, I'm gonna go out on a good note. I'm gonna wish Tom a happy birthday. I'm going out on a good note.
Thank you.
Thomas, you got to follow that up. What do you got?
Well, first I want to change my shitty pick because the Celtics just lost.
Oh, no.
But staying on
Straight.
basketball, I want to give a shout out to the Dallas Mavericks for having the league in their pocket. They had a 1.8% chance of getting the number one pick, and lo and behold, they got it tonight. So congratulations on winning the Cooper Flag lottery.
We had to replace Luca.
Yep.
So I guess we'll go wrap it up for this week. Glad we got this in on a late Monday. Should be up tomorrow. We'll have all the fellas back on the usual schedule, hopefully for the weekend, and we'll get our ducks in a row and make it happen. Later, everyone.